Bonjour à tous et à toutes, ici c'est Barcilou, qui est de retour non pas du futur, mais de retour pour vous présenter cette deuxième vidéo sur Back to the Future The Game, donc Retour vers le futur, le jeu inspiré des 3 films de Retour vers le futur. Notamment, je suppose, je ne suis pas très sûr, l'action se situe après le film le 3e film de Retour vers le futur. Disons que c'est une suite au film, au 3e film. Donc, d'après ce que j'ai compris, je suis à la recherche de Doc. Qui s'est perdu. Donc là nous sommes en 1986 et sa maison est mise en vente et mystérieusement la DeLorean est réapparue avec Einstein dedans. Donc je vais essayer de trouver des indices pour ce qui se passe.
I can use those to enter a date into the time circuits. Okay, Doc, I know I haven't seen you in a few months, but I'm pretty sure this isn't your shoe.
Okay.
Looks like the time circuits still work. Now I only need to know when to look for Doc.
À mon avis, c'est magnétophone. Allez, c'est parti.
Marty? Marty, if you're hearing this recording, then the DeLorean's automatic retrieval feature is a resounding success.
Automatic retrieval?
In case of my failure to return to the DeLorean within an allotted time, I programmed the time machine to jump to these 4-dimensional coordinates without me. As you are well aware, time travel is an inherently risky activity, and despite my elaborate precautions, there's always a possibility that I could land in trouble sometime. And that sometime is now, or then, or maybe later.
He's in trouble.
Marty, you come to my rescue in the past, or was it the future? Anyway, I'm relying on you to do it again. Please take the DeLorean back, or forward, to whatever it is. I'm stuck in time. When you get there, I'm sure you'll figure out what to do.
That's it? Aren't you gonna tell me when that is?
Just go to the date specified on the time circuit readout under the heading marked Last Time Departed. Good luck.
Right, last time departed. Oh, jeez. Come on. Crap! Oh, great. How am I supposed to find him now?
Bon, je suis à peu près sûr qu'il faut consulter son carnet. Tiens, non, c'est quoi ça?
This time traveling shoe is my only clue to finding Doc.
C'est pas la chaussure de Clara, par hasard.
This notebook has all of Doc's plans for the flux capacitor and the DeLorean. I'd better make sure it never falls into the wrong hands. And by wrong hands, I mostly mean Biff.
Okay.
I keep this picture of my dad to remind me that even the most hopeless losers can grow up to be pretty cool guys.
Marty?
Ah!
Marty?
Ah! Nah.
Bon, là je suis couillonné, de chez couillonné, je ne sais même pas quelle date il faut rentrer dans le circuit temporel. C'est quoi ça?
I can use those to enter a date into the time circuits. Once I know when to look for Doc.
Eh oui, il est quelque part dans le temps, mais où? Je devrais dire quand. Suis les traces de Doc. Il y a peut-être un indice sur la DeLorean. Non, mais je veux pas y rentrer. Je veux Einstein.
What kind of trouble is Doc in, Einie?
Je ne sais vraiment pas quoi faire. Suis les traces de Doc. Je voudrais bien. Je voudrais bien.
I probably shouldn't fiddle with the time circuits again until I know when to look for Doc.
Moi j'ai oublié quelque chose.
I can use those to enter a date into the time circuits. Once I know when to look for Doc.
Et un talon aiguille dans la DeLorean, il se passe des choses un peu louches ici. Oh, eh oui. Attendez. On peut interagir avec les personnages, bien sûr. Bien sûr, bien sûr. Oh, c'est pas vrai ça.
What do you know about this shoe, Einie? Great Scott! I think he's onto something. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. How's this supposed to lead me to Doc, Einie? It's locked.
Strickland.
Step away from the door!
Ah!
Now, let me get a look at you.
Einstein, come on!
Just as I suspected. Hooligans! Get along now! Scat!
Can you let me in? I've got something to show you.
What is it? Let me see.
Ok, je vais montrer la chaussure.
A shoe? Now what would I want with a... Huh? Stay there! future outside.
Sorry, Einstein.
Well, took you long enough.
There's a lot of stairs.
To return the shoe, I mean. I lost it ages ago. You can put it down next to the other one. Much better. So neat and orderly. I suppose you'll be wanting some sort of reward now.
No,
All I've got is tea and candy.
But...
I'm sorry I called you a hooligan. I try not to jump to conclusions, but after all, 9 out of 10 people in this city are hooligans. It's a fact. Look it up. Have a seat, Sonny. Hey! You kids! Put out those cigarettes!
À mon avis, elle est de la famille de Strickland. C'est pas un proviseur du lycée de Marty, mais c'est un pion. Ça doit être un pion. Un surveillant général du lycée et employé au lycée de Marty. Et il est pas très strict. Il est très strict plutôt.
Man, she keeps it hot in here.
That's the kettle. I'll be right back with some tea. And don't touch anything.
Ok, donc je manie.
Juveniles collide with manure truck. Nice picture. Brown Mansion destroyed. 1962. No, that's not where Doc's stranded. I don't even know where to start looking for clues in these stacks. Wish I could narrow it down to a year at least.
Yeah, that's peculiar. The water still hasn't come to a boil.
Ok.
Miss Strickland?
Jack! Diane! I know what you're doing behind that tree!
Yes? Do you remember when you lost your shoe?
Shoe?
That shoe over there.
Oh, that shoe! Huh. Hi, what a nosy Nelly! No one likes a busybody, you know.
But...
Oh, fine, let me think about it. Yes, I remember. I lost it in a scuffle with a dog. Oh, when was it? Oh, yes, the day that speakeasy burned down.
a speakeasy? In Hill Valley?
Don't act so surprised, young man. Your generation doesn't hold a copyright on moral depravity, you know. Sin has been on the prowl in Hill Valley since the day it was founded.
Ok.
What's with all these newspapers?
This is my personal archive. I've got every issue of the Hill Valley Telegraph ever published.
Get out. Every single issue?
From 1871 to the present. If it happened in Hill Valley, you'll find it in my stacks.
I I guess somewhere in these stacks there must be an article about the speakeasy burning down.
Naturally. Yeah, I probably wrote it myself. I was quite a reporter back in the day.
Any idea what date that article came out?
Well, obviously the day after the speakeasy burned down.
Bon, bah, c'est pas la peine de discuter.
Don't let me keep you from your business.
You there! Don't even think about tossing that Kleenex on the ground!
Allez. La bouilloire.
There's the whistle! Surely the water's boiling by now.
Firm announces plans for Lone Pine Mall, Peabody Ranch to be rezoned for commercial development. Alright, Einstein brought me this shoe, and Miss Strickland lost the shoe on the day the speakeasy burned down. But when did the speakeasy burn down? I at least need to know the year.
Oh putain, c'est pas possible.
Clint Eastwood plunges to death on runaway train. I don't even know where to start looking for clues in these stacks. Wish I could narrow it down to a year at least.
Très bien. Donc, vous auriez noté la petite référence à Clint Eastwood. Donc, c'est... Bah, ça fait...
That's what you get with these cheap, foreign-made kettles. But
Ça
trying
fait
to find an
référence
American
au
one
film numéro
nowadays.
3 de Retour vers le futur, où Marty et sa DeLorean sont poussés par le train pour atteindre que 88 miles à l'heure. Ça fait 140, à peu près 140 km/h. Donc voilà. Ok, je vais encore la cuisiner un peu.
Excuse me, Miss Strickland? Wow, a speakeasy. That must have been wild. Is it true they used to drink gin out of slippers like my grandma said?
Don't romanticize the past, young man. Prohibition was a time when gangsters ruled the town while honest citizens quaked in their beds.
So where was it? That speakeasy that burned down, I mean.
That was ages ago. If you're looking for bootleg hooch.
No, I'm just curious, that's all. I'm a student of history.
Student of history, my Aunt Fanny. Yeah, your generation of hooligans and slackers could give two ripe figs about history.
Miss Strickland?
Oh, video store!
Huh?
The speakeasy used to be hidden in plain sight down there in the town square. Right where that disgusting videotape rental store squats today.
So the video store building must have gone up after the speakeasy burned down.
Following year, as I recall.
I guess somewhere in these stacks there must be an article about the speakeasy burning down.
Naturally. Yeah, I probably wrote it myself. I was quite a reporter back in the day.
Any idea what date that article came out?
Well, obviously the day after the speakeasy burned down.
Bon, bah, c'est...
Doing some stargazing?
No, I set my sights on the lower things. Is that? Tintin! Get away from that hubcap before I call your father!
Bon, allez, c'est parti.
Don't let me keep you from your business.
C'est pas la peine de rester plus longtemps là-dedans. On va sortir. Entrer la cuisine. je vais dans la cuisine, là, ça va pas aller ça.
Miss Strickland, about your tea. You forgot to turn on the...
U! It's spelled with a U! You illiterate vandal!
Allez, je m'en vais.
Would you mind if I stepped out for a minute? I just remembered a video I've got to return.
Do you have to go? I get so few visitors these days.
But...
And I'd hate to have to tell my brother, your vice principal in charge of discipline, how rude you were to me. Especially with graduation coming up and all.
Mhm.
I guess I'm stuck here for a while.
Merde, mais je peux plus sortir.
Miss Strickland lost that shoe the day the speakeasy burned down. But when was that? Is that Vice Principal Strickland?
Mother never could keep little Gerald out of her clothes.
Mhm. C'est un peu plus compliqué là. Là, je...
Marshall Strickland.
My grandfather, gunned down by Mad Dog Tannen over 100 years ago.
That's not how I remember it. Jeez, they all look like they've got sticks up there.
What's that?
Nothing.
Allez, radiateur.
There's the whistle! Surely the water's boiling by now.
Et je m'en vais.
I guess I'm stuck here for a while.
Merde, mais je peux même pas.
The polite guest stays out of the host's kitchen, Mr. McFly.
Oh, je vais être coincé ici, je le sens. Jumelle, attendez, jumelle.
I'm gonna write a sternly worded letter of complaint.
Bonbon.
Oh, the candy looks older than I am.
Don't touch those! My newspapers are in pristine condition and meticulously organized. Not about to let some street punk get jam all over them.
Oh, je sens que ça va me prendre le chou là.
I don't think that picture's gonna do anything but confuse people.
I told you not to touch those!
Je sais quoi.
I think I'd better save this for Doc. Mind if I take a look?
Go ahead, dear.
Plus à gauche, 1132.
Rebuilt in February 1932. So the fire must have happened before then. But when? I need a date.
Don't look at me. I'm far too old for you.
Elle va me faire tourner en bourrique.
There's the whistle! Surely the water's boiling by now.
Let's see. Ground broken on site of former speakeasy. Singer vanishes. Hill Valley Expo delights crowd. Soup kitchen exposed. Here we go. Speakeasy arsonist slain. Legal procedure gave way to old-fashioned vengeance last night when a mob descended on the Hill Valley police station. The suspect in the speakeasy arson case, a drifter known as Carl Sagan, was pulled from his... Carl Sagan? It's Doc! Killed by a mob. What's the date? June 14th, 1931. Jeez, I gotta rescue him.
My newspapers!
Sorry, Miss Strickland. Let me...
No! You've gotten my history out of order! Oh, do you know how long it'll take to fix what you've done? Oh, get out! Get out! Get out!
Help! Police! I'm being attacked by hooligans!
Marty! Where you been, son? And what are you doing in that getup?
It's a costume. Tonight's the big, Halloween party.
Halloween party? In May? Never mind, you don't have to explain. I'm sure whatever it is you're up to, you know what you're doing, right?
I hope so.
Hey, sometimes you gotta go out on a limb for the ones you love, right? Wish my dad had understood that. You won't stay away too long.
You'll barely know I was gone. You ready to go, Einstein?
Ok, donc on va rentrer la date où l'on souhaite aller. Ouais, oui, une petite remarque sur l'animation des personnages. C'est très très rigide. On sent bien que c'est pas de la motion capture.
I've got to turn on the time circuits first.
Oui.
Time circuits, on. Flux capacitor, fluxy. Okay, if Doc's gonna get killed on June 14th, 1931, I'll just show up the day before and get him out. I hope you know what you're doing, Doc. Einstein, where'd you go now, boy?
Nous voici dans Hill Valley en 1931. Ou 1932.
Young man! Excuse me, young man!
Who, me?
You're the only man in the street, and I'm looking for a man-in-the-street reaction. Naturally, you know about the explosion that destroyed this illegal gin establishment.
I read about it, yeah.
What's your opinion of Carl Sagan, the stranger who single-handedly did what the law has been unable to do for 10 long years, namely, rid Hill Valley of the scourge of liquor?
There's gotta be some sort of mistake here. Carl wouldn't do something like that.
It's surprising the lengths a person will go to when it's a clear-cut matter of right and wrong. You've got an honest look about you. You do support the side of righteousness, I trust.
How'd Doc get himself into...
Doc?
Doc is his nickname. I'm good friends with Carl.
You are? Really? Oh, but I need an unbiased opinion for my story. Pretend you don't know him. How would you feel about his heroic act of destruction?
Well, I'm not so big on bomb blasts.
Yes, but this bomb blasted a speakeasy, the very symbol of lawlessness and corruption. You're all for cleaning up the town, aren't you? Do you have a message for the vicious gangsters who still roam these streets, no doubt plotting to corrupt our citizens with another den of booze, sin, and debauchery?
Attendez. C'est pas la grand-mère que j'ai vue en 1986? Elle m'avait dit qu'elle était reporter. C'est tout à fait son genre, ça, agressive.
Ask him where I can get the address.
Ah, I see! Because you want to blast it to smithereens just like Carl Sagan did. With public-spirited citizens like you around, the lawless element will be on the run in no time. Mr. May I get your name?
Yeah, it's...
Sonny Crockett, Harry Callahan, Michael Corleone. Donc le parrain, Michael Corleone. Si je connais bien mes classiques. Harry Callahan, Dirty Harry, Clint Eastwood. Sonny Crockett. C'est pas la série Miami là? Zut, j'ai plus le titre. Sonny Crockett. Comment il s'appelle celui qui jouait Sonny Crockett dans Deux flics à Miami, c'est ça. Allez, on va continuer sur Clint Eastwood.
Harry Callahan.
Thank you for sharing your candid opinions, Mr. Callahan. Edna Strickland, Hill Valley Herald.
I know. I met you back. I'm familiar with your work.
You read my column? How sweet! I know it's just an etiquette column, but I believe it'll lead to bigger and better... Oh!
Einstein, no. Down, boy.
Is this wretched creature yours? He assaulted me once before.
What's got into you?
Aggressive dogs must be kept on leash at all times. It's the law. Look it up.
Doc. I gotta find Doc.
Très bien. Donc, sur ces belles paroles, je vais vous quitter. Donc, c'est un peu plus difficile que The Walking Dead, faut l'avouer franchement. Je m'attendais pas à ça. Ça se rapproche plus d'un point and click, tout ce qui est plus classique. Donc, il faut un peu plus se creuser les méninges. C'est moins un film interactif comme The Walking Dead. Donc je vais vous laisser là et à très bientôt pour la suite. Donc portez-vous bien et salut.